All right, welcome into another night of Regenerating Degenerations. I'm your host, Tori.
And I'm Max.
And tonight we're on episode 8. The big question for our episode tonight is, are you proud of yourself and should you be? The first bullet point we got going is, have you gotten to a point in your life that you're proud of the results? Everything starts somewhere, but are you taking in what's happening around you to prepare yourself for the next steps? We need to try and work towards something and not stay put. Your goal should be growing in ways that you want out of your life. You should be focusing on things that are directly related to what you want in the next day of your life. You shouldn't be sitting here with the goal that I want tomorrow's day to result the same way today's day went.
Right. Yeah.
It's huge, and we all get stagnant, and even the next question on here is, are you in pilot mode? If we get too comfortable in our lives, we stay in the same path, and we never know when to progress or when to start over new. We should never strive to not grow. I do believe a lot of this comes from putting ourselves in uncomfortable situations, always looking for the part of your day that's actually going to make you do something and not the part of your day that's going to necessarily be the easy slide through it all.
Right. You know, and like as we talk about pride, I always think of like the two different sides. So like we talk about it as like a whole, right? Of like pride, are you proud of your life and should you be? And I think a lot of it comes from those day-to-day decisions of progression. Like, right. I mean, like you'll hear me say it a million times. Like, it doesn't happen overnight. But you can take small steps in the right direction. You know, like, it's okay to be proud that you had, like, a decent day. Like, I mean, people, like, I'll throw an example out there. You know, you got somebody who's been out of a job for a while. And they've been applying, they finally get an interview, and boom, they get a call back, and hey, you can start tomorrow. You know what I mean? Proud. Be proud of that. Be proud of that.
But do you stop it there?
No, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, you don't, like, I think I've said it before, where it's like, I think you go up, and then you kind of plateau, and then you keep going up. You have to keep setting different goals every time. Like, it's okay to, like, I think it's okay to be comfortable for a little bit, but only be comfortable if you're like, if you have a right to be comfortable. You know what I mean? Like we talk about, there's just a lot of people I know that just don't do anything. You know, they're comfortable.
Like, do you have a right to be comfortable? And if are you happy where you at? And if you're not, why are you comfortable?
Right, like you know, there's one person in particular that we both know that he like struggles constantly with money, and it's just like, homie, you are putting yourself in this position perpetually. You are perpetually like, pick a struggle, pick a struggle, man. You can't like have 4 jobs and still be broke. How is that fucking possible?
Well, and how is that enjoyable for your life? And if you're continually putting yourself in situations where you're just doing these random things that aren't actually progressing you forward, and then you just try to do it the same exact way you did it before, how can you expect when you wake up the next day for your life to be any different than it was the day prior?
Right.
Like, there's nothing in this world that it owes to you, and the world's only going to give you back to it what you put into it.
Yeah. No, I believe that 100%, like energy and shit. Like, I do believe that the more you get back what you put out. So, like, if you're not giving anything, you're not getting anything.
Right.
You know, and, like, we're talking energy-wise. Like, if you're just boring, I guess, like, if that's all you're doing is just sitting there smoking weed and watching TV, like, I mean, that's...
Well, and you don't have to put a lot of energy out there to be successful. I feel like the main thing people struggle with is actually being scared to change a decision on a daily basis to be successful. Because if you know you're comfortable in one way, but one way could potentially be more comfortable, typically everyone that I know and people that I've hung out with and seen on a daily basis, they're choosing the way that just, they know they're going to be comfortable either way.
Yeah.
Even if the other way is going to show them that they could be better off.
Right. Have I ever talked about, like, the barn rat? like as far as horses go. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like, you have a horse, you got a barn. That horse likes the barn, so you can saddle it up, and that horse, every time you try to take it out, it's going to turn around and go right back to the barn because that's what it knows. It isn't until you get that horse out of sight of the barn to where it'll actually start to listen and like,
Yeah.
you do your thing. But then as soon as that barn gets back in sight, they go racing right back for it. It's just like with addiction, you know, people get stuck in that constant loop of like get, use, get, use, get, use. Do what you can to get it, use it, do what you can to get it, use it. And like you get stuck in that, like we call it comfort, but it's basic. You're just
Used to it.
yeah. That's all it is. It's not even necessarily comfortable. It's what you're used to, and changing that is going to require you to do something else. And you're like, no, I'm not down for that.
And on that same concept, like a lot of people know what they're going to get out of life. They're just only willing to put out stuff that makes life a surety. Right? And so like sometimes you got to put things into life that you're unsure of. Sometimes you got to take a decision that you do regularly and tweak it a little bit.
Right.
Like I'm fine with you being comfortable and you wanting to keep your job and you do the same thing for the rest of your life if that's what you want to do. But are you doing it to the best of your ability? Are you putting your best effort forth in every single thing you do on a daily basis? And are you actually striving to be whatever it is that you want to be regularly?
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And like I said, you know, like we have said many a times, it's like for those people who are just like cool with that, that's how they want to be. That's fine. It's just, but like also don't expect me to like want to hang out.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to like kick it and like.
I'm fine with however you want to live your life, but you can't expect me to be all right with every decision if I have different standards in my life.
Right. Yeah. Like we were just talking about a little bit ago. Just everybody's got a different standard, and you know, like I hate to put it this way, but some standards are just low.
Well, right. If we're not hanging out purely based on standards, because I just want to do something different with my day to day than what you want to do with your day to day, then you honestly shouldn't take it personally. Just like I'm not going to take it personally that I might not see you as often as other people.
Right.
Because we just have different goals. We have different places we want to be. And, you know, I am not here to put my own self on the wayside to be your friend.
Right.
Even though that doesn't mean that I'm not your friend.
Right, dude. And like I want to help other people up, but like I also am not gonna like chase you the fuck down.
Well, and I feel like people
help
confuse that with pride a lot too. Like people will take what, you know, people wanting to have different standards in their life and be like, well, that person just thinks he's way too high up for me and I'm just not worth his time. And it's like, no, that's not pride. That's not me saying that you're not worth my time. That's just me saying that I want to spend my time differently.
Right.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That pride has nothing to do with that. Pride only comes into play when I legitimately look at you and tell you you're beneath me and tell you that I have bigger, better things in my life than you. And I hope that not one person listening to anything that I ever say treats people that way.
Right.
But I hope that you cut people out of your life that are not doing the things that you want to progress in.
Right.
Like wholeheartedly.
And like I've said before, it simply comes down to like you guys are on a path, and their path might lead one way, yours might lead the other way, and like that's just how it is. And like you don't have to take offense to it. Like,
right.
It's just it is what it is. Like if you're doing stuff, and like the people that I have in my life currently are people that like they want more, you know, and like they're hungry for. Like I'm in my 30s, man. I feel like I just should have done more by now. So now I'm like not scrambling, but like I'm working towards something that I probably should have been working at in my 20s. But like let's be real about it. In my 20s, if I would have attempted what I'm doing now, it wouldn't have happened because it would have fucked it up. So it's like we're all on different paths, and sometimes it just takes a little longer. Like for me, man, like there is a fucking kid out there who is 20 years old, making 6 figures a year because he put his nose to the grindstone and did stuff. I didn't. I'm not going to be jealous of that guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, I think pride is rooted in ego.
Yes.
A little bit. And,
I agree with that.
You know, it's to be proud of something
Absolutely.
and to be prideful,
Yeah.
I think are two
Well-
different kind of things. Because like,
Yes.
I don't look at somebody who has more than me and who sits there and would look down on me and be like, don't even talk to me, you're not in the same league. I don't look at them like he's proud. I look at him like he's a fucking egotistical douchebag.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, he's probably proud of himself, but the way he carries himself, he can eat a bag of dicks.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and it's so the way I even said it to one of my buddies the other day who's around the same age as me, I was like, you've been doing this adult thing since you were 18. You came out and you were doing everything right. You had all your P's and Q's in order.
Mhm.
I didn't start being an adult probably till I was like 25, and I was still stupid as shit about it. You
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And so it makes sense that because I started actually doing the strides in my life that you've been making for 7 extra years more than me,
Mhm.
that I'm in a different spot than you're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, I don't feel like either one of us is less wise, or, I don't feel like either one of us has necessarily any less than the other to offer in a conversation or in our
Right.
day-to-day lives or
Yeah.
anything like that. It's just we've progressed in our lives at different times and we went through different things at different points.
Mhm.
And there's not one point in my day where, because someone has something, that I'm less proud of the things that I did.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a big thing. Is it's really easy for people to look at other people who have more and be like, "Well, I'll never be like them." It's like, yeah, you won't if
Well, why do you want to be?
like
I feel like that's a huge problem with the world is we're getting told that we have to be like so much other things out there that people forget that, you were made perfectly. You were made exactly how you need to be made, and that you are able to do whatever you want with your life. You should probably just do what you want because that's the only thing that's going to make you happy.
right.
Like, stop comparing yourself to other people and trying to make other people's day-to-day work for you. It doesn't make sense for us to do that, and your day-to-day shouldn't look like my day-to-day because I want you to live your life the best you possibly can, how
Right.
you see fit.
Right.
The next bullet point we got kind of going into it is, are you working hard enough to be proud of yourself? Have you bettered yourself today from yesterday? And I feel like this is so key with a lot of stuff because so many people go out in their day-to-day life and they just do the exact same steps they've done before. And I know we've hit on it a lot this episode, but you can't expect anything different in your day if you're not willing to put extra effort into your day. Your goals start with you, not anyone else. You should be out here to do whatever you did yesterday, but better today. I have a quote for the first ended of the bullet points, and it's from Jordan Peterson, who I'm a very big fan of. And it's, compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. And that's massive. Stop looking outward at what everyone else is doing around you. Stop seeing where everyone else has progressed to. Stop seeing the cars other people drive. And just start looking at, was I a better person today than I was yesterday?
Yeah, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like, I think, like I said, with the small steps, like, it is more than okay to be proud of yourself. As long as you're, like, progressing towards what you want. Like,
Well, and you don't get in your own way with your pride.
well, yeah. Well, because you
You
get
know?
that, oh, dude, yeah, you get that egotistical, yeah. No,
Well, if
I
you're
know, I
not
know
willing
all
to
about
listen.
that, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I know everything. There's a reason I was an addict for most of my 20s. I knew everything. Like, obviously, I know better than anybody else. So, like...
Well, and it's so true that we sit here and you'll get to being at the top of something. You'll get to being number one at something. And then someone else will come along that might have like 10 more years experience as you than you are, and they are mediocre. I guarantee in that 10 years of experience, even if they're a little bit more mediocre than you, they have something positive they can give to your day about whatever it is that you're doing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so true that we just use our experiences differently. So maybe there's an experience that someone can share with you that you could actually take something away that they didn't take away from it.
Right. Well, it's like in AA, the whole point of it is to share your strength, experience, and hope. Like, I don't know if I've said it on here, but a big thing with AA is like the people who have time don't go to the meetings necessarily for themselves. They go for the new guy because they need to be an example that even if it's like you got 3 months, you know what I mean? I tell you right now, that person that's sitting in the corner with their eyes all puffy and red because they're just so beaten down, like they're gonna look at you and be like, "Wow, you got 3 months? Like that shit's wild." You know, I remember
I can't even fathom.
Right, like, and I remember when I was in rehab, like I thought about that. Like I'd see people get their month chip, and I'm like, "Damn, dude, you got a month." You know what I mean? Like these people. So, like you said, it's like some people have a lot of experience. Like my sponsor, he's 22 years clean, you know? And like that's something to strive for. But now I'm to a point where I don't necessarily count days, and I'm able to, I'm fortunate enough to start counting years.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not sitting here looking at an app all the time, but like I am proud of that. I try not to be egotistical about it with people.
Right.
Like I genuinely just want to help, and that's why I got that job as an addiction counselor, is because I just felt like I have life experience as far as being in that place, and some of these people that come in are just, you know, they're just like any other treatment center, you know, they don't want to be there. This is bullshit, you know. I thought the same thing.
And you're so true in the fact that perspective is so much better than authority. Like, if I can sit here and tell you, like, no, I get it. I don't want to listen to people like me either, but that's why I became someone like me, is because I know that when I was sitting in your position, this shit sucked.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude.
Well, and there's so much to that, too. Like, and that's kind of, it's funny, because that's what it comes down to for a lot of the regen, is we need to be out there to actually help each other in ways that actually progress, you know, and I don't think that, you know, emotionally coddling or anything like that is what we need right now. I think what everyone needs is a swift kick in the dick and a spit on it, put some mud in it, and let's go on with our day and be better people, you know?
No, I definitely agree with the whole coddling thing, dude. It's like everybody is just... it's too sensitive out there. You can't... I don't know, man.
Well, and so the next bullet point we got is, do you have too much pride to actually see what's going on to help you? Like, are you so full of yourself that you can't see that people around you are actually trying to assist you in your day-to-day?
Yes.
Are you... And then it's funny because it comes through in addiction, but it comes through in your job, it comes through in your health habits, it comes through in hobbies, it comes through everything on a day-to-day basis that you can kind of put into any terms whatsoever. Someone can use their pride to absolutely destroy it.
Well, yeah, you don't have to be an addict to have a shitty thought process.
Right.
You know?
It's just they're known for it.
Yeah, self-seeking, man.
Well, are you the reason that you can't ask for help? Are you stuck so far up your own ass that you can't get out of your head to actually know when you're drowning, to know that, hey, I might need assistance. Hey, I might need someone to actually show me what I do different today than yesterday in order to make my life better, because I know that what I've been doing isn't making a difference, and so maybe a little guidance would help me.
So I love this subject because what it comes down to is vulnerability. Like, we talk about pride, right? You have people who are homeless on the side of the street that will refuse to ask for help.
Yeah.
They do not, because, okay, so here's the thing, is they don't want the help you're trying to give them.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing that sucks, is like, we call it pride, but the reality is like, some of these people are just like, hey man, like, okay, I'll give you an example here. My mom, right? When I was in my active addiction, I'd be like, Mom, I need $20 for groceries. Be like, how about I just take you grocery shopping? And I'd be like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I didn't
probably get more than $20 of groceries if she did that too, you know?
Yeah. But here's I didn't want that 20 to get groceries.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's asking for help is a vulnerable thing to do, because it's not necessarily admitting weakness, but it's admitting, what's the word I'm looking for? Not fault, but it's just, like,
it's finding humility in yourself to know that I'm not perfect. It's letting the world know that I do need assistance, and it's really silly because after you do it, you understand that you're not a weak person for needing help. You're actually a person who's probably going to be stronger than everyone else around them, because you are learning on what you need to do as you get your help. The people that
Right.
struggle with get help normally pay closely attention to what's happening as they get their help after they ask, and so they don't have to ask for it again. Which means those people should be the least amount to be afraid to ask for help, because they're actually going to be the ones that utilize the help that's asked from them.
Right.
You know, and there's a huge thing for that. Like, if you're actually going to learn from the help that is given, then you should be the number one person that is willing to ask for help, because I want you to soak up everything that you can soak up. Just
Right.
like I want that for myself. If you're actually taking in what I have to offer you, then that's massive. If you're sitting here and you ask me for help, but then you call me a week later and you ask me for the same help, I don't think I'm actually helping you. But if you call me a week later and you tell me, hey, remember you showed me this last time and I actually did it myself this time,
Yeah.
that makes me feel like I actually did something for you. You know?
Yeah, well-
that's help in the right way.
Right.
But
Well,
you can't expect people to keep helping you if you're asking for the help in the same exact way over and over and over and over again.
But yeah, it comes down to like, what are you learning? What are you actually taking away from this? Like, for me, it's a big thing of just like people who bitch.
Yeah.
Like, okay, you know, I'm all here. I'm all ears for people who need to vent. Like,
Yes.
I am big on fucking reach out. Like, if something is bothering you. But if we're a month down the road and not a single thing has changed, and you just want to continue to talk about the same shit, I don't have anything to say to you.
Well, and where's your
Like-
pride at on that point? Like, those people that do that, how do you not have enough pride in yourself to actually focus on whatever it is that you are complaining and bitching and griping about and trying to fix it? Like,
Right.
you have to have absolutely zero pride for yourself to let the world kick you in the balls every single day
No respect
and
for
just
yourself.
think it's okay.
Yeah, and it's I mean, it's frustrating, especially when it's like people you do care about, and it's just like same thing every fucking time you talk. It's like, yes, I get it, it sucks. I am someone who I do it too. Like,
Yeah.
I bitch about stuff. Like, for me though, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, usually it's like a week, but I'm trying to do something about it.
But that's why you
You
can
know
only
what I
do it
mean?
for a week, because normally you're fixing it.
That's what
Like,
I'm.
it's
Yeah,
like you said, I'm fine with you complaining about what's going on in your life. I'm
Yeah,
fine with being
shit
that
sucks.
ear to listen to you and stuff like that. My life blows too sometimes.
yeah.
But like, if you're sitting here and 6 months later you haven't done anything and you have the exact same problem you had before, what if you haven't tried 2 million things to get rid of that problem? What are you doing?
Yeah, why are we even talking about it at that
Yeah.
point? You know, it's like,
Like that, it kind of becomes your fault that you have that problem eventually.
oh my god. I love this philosophy of once you know what the problem is,
Absolutely,
it is what?
Tori, she said, you have to be honest with yourself, and you can't keep lying to yourself. Like, and that's where people fall short. Like, I'm fine, I'm okay. Oh, I can do that tomorrow. Oh, I can do everything.
That's pride.
Yeah.
That right there, that is the pride that we're
Yes.
talking about. I'm fine. I'm okay. Motherfucker, no you're not.
Yeah, no one's
No,
fine.
you're not. Like, who are you? Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
like she said, like they said, you know, like it's what it comes down to is it's just like who are you kidding at this point?
Absolutely.
Who are you kidding? Are you trying to convince me? Or are you trying to convince you?
Right.
Because like I obviously see it from the outside and know you're not good.
Yeah.
But like face value, you know what? Like you
I
tell
gotta
me,
take it with how you tell me.
yeah, you tell me you're fine, cool. Then let's not ever talk about this again. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
If you're good,
if
I'm
you're
good.
yeah. If you're good, I'm good. We can wash our hands of the subject, but don't sit here and perpetually bitch about it. Like obviously it's not good then,
If you're not going to help yourself, how can you expect me to want to help you?
right?
I can't. My help's not going to go anywhere. It's like I was saying the other day when we were talking about it. Like, I could pick you up and put you on this counter that you needed to be sat on. But if I turn around and have to address this counter over here, are you going to fall back off again?
Yeah,
Like,
She
so
knows
I
that.
need to let you self pick yourself up.
yeah,
Because if I do it, every time I have to address my own life, your life is going to crumble.
right. And that's
Like-
oh man, and that's like I have lived that. I have been that person that my entire family has sat there and picked me up and keep setting me. And I was the self-inflicting person.
Prophecy.
Yeah, I was a self-fulfilling prophecy. I was like, my life sucks. So guess what? It sucked.
Yeah.
I told myself my life sucks, and I was cool with that. You know what I mean? But like, I've been that person that's had to like be perpetually picked up, and it wasn't until people stopped picking me up that I was like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's enabling, you know, and like, that's nothing against my family. They didn't know any better. They saw me struggling, they saw me hurting, and they wanted to do whatever it took to get me not to feel that way. And like, little did they know I was using their kindness
against it.
Against them. You know, it's like it is what it is. But it wasn't until I fell off that counter that last time, and I was like, help, and nobody was there to grab me.
Well, and I tell people all the time, until I was actually homeless, living out in my car, when like my parents officially just were.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have fixed myself. If you're comfortable, you don't fix it. If you can find any reason to be comfortable, you don't fix anything in your life. Uncomfortability is what breeds growth. Well, we know this.
And if you constantly have someone who's bailing you out, you know, and again, it's nothing against them. They just genuinely want to help most of the time. But like, when you're just constantly getting bailed out, man, what are you learning from that experience? You know, like,
it's true. Well, and so if you feel like you know everything that you can, then you can never grow. If you're overconfident, then you will never find the uncomfortable answers that force you to grow and become a better person. You are your own worst enemy of your progress, and your pride will be your downfall. Another quote that I got for tonight from another guy is Stephen Hawking. The greatest enemy of knowledge is ignorance. It is the illusion of knowledge. So just thinking you know everything doesn't necessarily mean you know everything. And in fact, thinking you know everything is probably going to prevent you from learning everything. And that's massive for people to understand. Don't be a smartass. Don't be a know-it-all. Always be humble enough to ask for help. Always be looking to push your life in forward direction. And sometimes you got to rely on other people. But you need to be the one picking up the knowledge along the ways to make sure your life is growing, because that's your responsibility.
Right.
You know, have you done enough work figuring out where you want to be to know that you can trust yourself on it? You need to work every day to get to where you want to go. Don't put yourself on the sideline in your own life. Don't let yourself put yourself down or stop yourself from working. Don't be afraid to put yourself in uncomfortable situations. In fact, I think that people should strive for uncomfortable situations in their life and trying to take different paths and even more difficult situations to deal with than what life normally throws at you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying to like go hard left. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you can wean yourself into it, man. Like, it's just, you don't have to you don't have to decide today I'm going to go swim with sharks tomorrow simply because you want to mix it up. You know.
Well, and there's a huge thing that everyone forgets, and I feel like it's funny because you know what everyone forgets? Good days.
Oh, yeah.
But you remember every single bad day.
Oh, yeah.
You remember every single bad thing, everything that you don't want to do again, everything that puts you in situations that you don't like.
That awkward interaction in the 5th grade.
Why'd you do that? Why like that? But it's true, though. Like, we all get put in these situations, and if you're not willing to actually grow out of a situation, you're probably taking the easy way out every single time. And a little bit of it's going to be your pride all the time with that, because if you've convinced yourself that your life is good enough, then your pride is getting in the way of you actually going forward with your life. There's no reason you should ever stop growing in your life, no matter, even if your life truly is good enough.
Right.
It's probably only good enough because you've grown the entire time.
Right, man. And like, I've said it before, but it's like winning $1 million tomorrow, I probably would still be unhappy in a year. You know what I mean? Like, if I got like $1 million and I was just like, bet, relapse, like, let's fucking
game on,
right? Let's fucking run it back, baby. Like, in a year, I would be wanting to die. Like, you can only. I keep talking about like striving and then plateauing, and you get $1 million and you're handed everything that you want. What is there to want? Then even these people who have money get complacent. You really think some dude who's like, yeah, they have money, but like, think about how many fake people they probably have around them.
Well, and there's the concept of, you know, people that have had the shittiest days in the world do have a very, very good outlook towards what can make them happy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if something terrible's happened in your ceiling for being happy is probably a lot lower than my ceiling, but that means that the stuff that makes me happy will probably make you ecstatic.
Right.
And I'm almost a little jealous of that. Like, it's always like when you look at kids and you're like, I wish I could just look at the ground and play with random pieces of paper and be happy about it. Like,
Right.
I wish my life was that simple.
Well, it's
Finding
like a cat.
happiness out of anything, bro, would be such a cool thing.
Right. Well, it's like a cat. Like you go and you buy them this fucking expensive ass thing, and their stupid asses are playing with the box. You know, like
They won't get out of it.
right,
Yeah.
bastards. But yeah, just being grateful, being grateful for where you're at. Like even if you're not like exactly where you want to be, I can at least be grateful for the journey.
Well, and staying humble about it, even if you've progressed further and faster than you thought, will take you miles. Because most people will help a humble person before they'll help a proud person.
Mm-hmm.
But you still find pride in what you're doing. Just like you said earlier, it's okay for you to be proud that you got your job.
Mm-hmm.
But if this is the 9th job you've gotten, we know you can get jobs.
Don't be walking up to me
Yeah.
and being like, "I got a job, bitch." Like
Yeah.
I'm better than you. It's like, no, you're not. Like,
Yeah.
hold on. Yeah, like that's that bad pride. Like it's okay to be like, "Fuck yeah, I got a job."
Yep.
But the second you're like, "Fuck yeah, I got a job," you know what I mean? Like,
And here's the thing, man. That now that you set your standard higher now. Like, I got a job. Okay, now what's the next step up from getting a job? It's not I got a job. Now I'm gonna always just go get a job, and that's gonna be my highlight. Is I got a new job. Like, no,
Right.
I want to progress as I'm getting jobs. I want to make sure I'm going forward in my life. I want to make sure that I'm striving towards something, and I want to make sure that me getting a new job doesn't fill my head enough to where I'm so full of myself that I've missed the next opportunity that could be a little bit better.
right.
Like, if I get so comfortable with where I'm at and I get so happy with what I'm doing right now that I don't look around what's going on for the rest of me, then I'm going to miss every single opportunity that's going around.
Right.
It's
Put the
okay.
blinders up.
Yeah, be comfortable, but don't be complacent.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, there's a difference.
Yeah.
Like, so, there's a difference between solitude and isolation. You know what I mean? Like there is. It's like so you're just okay with being alone, and isolation is you're not okay being alone.
In either situation, you're your own worst enemy again, though.
Yup.
Like,
Dude.
be proud of your accomplishments, but always be humble enough to ask the next person in line how they got there, what's going good for them. Share your ideas, see if you're an idiot or see if you're smart. You know, there's so much that you can use with people around you and for your progression. As long as you're doing it appropriately too, 99% of people are willing to do it.
Yeah.
It's the people that you're sitting there and you do the same thing over and over again and you don't get anywhere with your questions. You asked the same question yesterday and I did this for you yesterday. Well, why am I doing this for you again today?
Right.
Like, take my help and run with it. And then I'll hopefully be able to take help from you and run with it. And then we progress together, we grow forward together, and we move forward together in our lives.
Right.
It's so much reliability can come from people around you that are just have similar mindsets that have different ways of getting to goals.
Right. And like I was going to say, you know, when it comes to people who are humble will ask for help, people who are prideful won't.
Yeah.
So like usually if you're asking for help, you've probably been humbled a little bit. You know, like when I was doing your job, doing the car sales and whatnot, like I had like a 6-car week and I was like, yeah, I am the backbone of this company. You know what I mean? And like, and I got humbled like real quick because then I go down to like, and this is like my first couple months, go down to like a 2-car month, and it's just like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? I've talked to like 40 people. Then I'd go talk to like one of the dudes who were 30-car guys, and you know, like luckily for me, they weren't like intimidated that I was gonna steal their sales or anything, and they like had me shadow them and whatnot. But like, yeah,
this is very true. So, a couple more bullet points tonight. So, don't be afraid to work at what you want out of this life and to be who you strive to be. Don't forget to work towards it. You can be you all you want. Just be the best version of you that you can throw out there. At the end of the day, you should definitely want to set yourself up and work enough at your life and goals that you can trust yourself, but never work enough, but never be too proud to make sure you're doing the right things. Always work hard and put your best foot forward no matter what you're doing and who you're doing it for. We're here to be the best versions of ourselves we can be. And it's so true. Like, I never, even if in 10 years I'm still selling cars, even if in 10 years I still haven't had a crazy million person viewing podcast, as long as I'm doing my best to strive and move forward with what I'm doing and putting my best foot forward and making the effort in the right ways that I want to in my life and actually working for what I want, that's something you can be proud of.
Right. You're trying. Like, that's the thing, dude. You're trying. I have so much respect for people who just fucking try. You know? Like I keep going back to the bitching thing. It's like, if you tried anything else, like, besides just fucking running to everybody in your circle and being like, this sucks. Like, have you tried doing anything about it?
Well, and if you have a problem and you have had this problem for the last year and you haven't tried 1,000,005 things to actually do something about it, then it's your problem. Then you just make your problem your issue. Like, it doesn't have to be there. Yeah.
It's
like,
just,
it's your fault eventually, right? Everything we do in this world can be fixed. Everything we do in this world can move forward or can move us backwards. Like, it's all in the palm of your hands. And it's almost luck of the draw with some of the decisions you make. But if you're at least trying... Dude, I tried something different.
So much respect for people. So much respect for people who just try. Like, that's it, man. I just have the utmost respect for people who just do even a little something to try to make it better.
Yeah.
You know, my sponsor has always told me that once you know the problem and you don't do anything about it, it is your fault. You have no right to complain.
Yep. Like, if you're sitting here perpetuating your own cycle, it's on you.
Yep.
The world doesn't owe you anything, and the world's going to put back in your face exactly what you're putting into it.
Yep.
And so if you're mad about where you're at, you might have gone through some shitty situations. You might have had some stuff thrown at you, but we all do. If you're stuck there for 5 years, you stuck yourself there.
Bro, the victim mentality. So, okay. Real quick. There's the victim and there's the survivor.
Yeah.
Which one do you want to be? Want to be a victim the rest of your life, or do you want to be a survivor? Because a survivor overcomes. A victim lives with it the rest of their life. You know what I mean? Like,
passes regrets, futures worries, worry about right now. All these victims worrying about what happened to them before. What happened to you before is never going to change, but what happens in the future can be different. But you got to do something different today to make it better.
Right.
Like, it's just facts.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Well, I think we've used up our time tonight on Regenerating Degenerations. Again, I'm Tori.
And I'm Max.
It's been great having everyone. Thanks again for episode 8.